You just won £1 million!
Charles Ingram was a contestant on the popular quiz show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, hosted by Chris Tarrant. Along with his wife Diana, Charles coordinated one of the biggest heists in television history.
We didn't cheat on that show. There was no plan to cheat on that show. I won that money perfectly honestly and fairly and squarely.
It was a £1 million robbery hidden in plain sight.
He had this sort of jolly idiotic army officer way about him, which made him quite appealing.
When he was invited to take his place in the hot seat initially, his performance as a contestant was poor. By the end of the first night, he had only managed to accumulate £4,000 in winnings and had already exhausted 2 out of 3 valuable lifelines.
So we knew he was coming back the following evening, but expected him to last just a couple of questions or so and then be gone.
This opportunity gave him and his wife Diana a window of time to concoct their fraudulent plan. The following day, Ingram had developed a habit of reversing his answers after seemingly settling on one.
I'm not sure. However.
Charles, you haven't been sure since question number 2.
No one in the studio was able to follow the Major's unpredictability. An audience member named Tecwen Whittock was waiting for his turn in the hot seat. At the same time, he was strategically coughing at pivotal moments during the show.
I don't think I've heard of a Google. I'm sure it's Google. Surely. I think it's a Google. I'm going to play Google.
However, on the £32,000 question, which is just under $40,000, Tecwen Whittock abruptly stopped coughing and Charles was stuck. Whittock didn't know the answer, but Diana did.
A1 or Craig David.
Just as Charles was on the verge of selecting an incorrect answer after exhausting his final lifeline, Diana conveniently coughed from the audience, prompting him to rethink his choice.
He changed his mind, knowing he'd lose £15,000 if he gave him the wrong answer, and went for Craig David, who he'd never heard of. You just won £32,000.
This critical moment would later serve as pivotal evidence incriminating the couple in court.
When you say, I've never heard of Craig David, and then a few moments later answer Craig David, something is obviously wrong.
About 1:45 in the morning, there's a young editor said, there's a cough there. I went, what? He said, there's a cough.
After the jackpot was won, the show's production team reviewed the footage and became convinced that something unusual had happened. They decided to withhold the prize money while they investigated further. After the suspicions were raised, the production company management made a phone call to the Ingrams.
I think I should just get straight to the point that there were irregularities during the taping of the show in which you participated.
Oh, good Lord, no.
Because of that, I have to tell you that these suspicions have been referred to the police.
The Ingrams and audience member Tecwen Whittock were eventually charged with procuring the execution of a valuable security by deception. Advanced audio analysis allowed the police to compare the timing of Whittock's coughs with Ingram's decision-making process.
Because he knew he was going to play, and he knew he was going to get it right, and he knew he was going to win £1 million.
When the scandal made its way to court, the jury found the Ingrams guilty and they were given suspended prison sentences, fines, and ordered to pay court costs. But the Ingrams have always maintained their innocence.
Why did you cough then, Diana? I think I needed to clear my throat. Why were you looking at the monitors? Why was I looking at the monitors? Well, because that's the only way you can see Charles's face.
In court, Charles blamed the infamous Craig David U-turn on the reactive gasps from the audience. And when Whittock took the stand, he claimed to have suffered a persistent cough for his entire life. He testified that the coordination of the coughs was merely a coincidence.
I have sat through so many hours with the police and the fraud squad of tapes of the Major show. He is so guilty. It's like once you lock into it, it's like, oh, for God's sake.
The scandal generated media attention and public fascination. Their actions cast a shadow over the integrity of quiz shows and led to an increased scrutiny of contestants and security measures on programs. In 2020, the infamous scandal resurfaced in the public eye with the release of the TV drama Quiz, based on the 2017 play of the same name. This sparked renewed widespread interest in the scandal.
Charles, you've just won £1 million!
The series also exposed the bullying and harassment the Ingrams endured during and after the case. Due to the ambiguity portrayed in the series, it reignited the debate over whether they actually cheated to win or not. Regardless of your stance, it's evident that the Millionaire cheating scandal will remain an indelible part of television's history.